Welcome back to the Football Terrace and the Done Deal Show. Lots of interesting and breaking news to share with you this morning. I want to gather your opinions, though, in the comments section below. I want to understand what you think and what you feel about these stories. And we're going to go to North London first. Arsenal learn RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko decision. It says here that RB Leipzig will not sell Sesko at any cost unless his release clause is met by the end of next month. So that is the end of June. Sky Sports Germany reports on the Bundesliga side working hard to keep the Arsenal striker target, who can be signed for £55 million before the clause expires on the 30th of June. Now, we all know £55 million in the modern day game is relatively cheap, but this only lasts for another 36 days. A new contract has been offered to the striker. Leipzig's decision comes despite their goal of bringing in as much as 70 million through player sales this summer. And it's obvious they see Sesko as a player who has such high potential. And they are a club that sells still. That is where they are. That is what their model is still. And they're not at a point yet with revenues and sustainable revenues to be able to do what a Bayern Munich would do in Germany, to be able to do what a Man City or a Barcelona or a Man United, when they're being run well, would do. And that's hold on to their star players. It's very much how Arsenal have changed in recent years. And it's one of the elements about Arsenal that, quote unquote, makes me fearful of them. The best part of 20 years, whenever they had a star player that wanted a new contract, wanted money that reflect that across the market, Arsenal would invariably let them go, whether it was Vieira, whether it was Fabregas, Robin van Persie, whether it was money, whether it was ambition, winning, combination of all these things. Arsenal couldn't hold on to them and have started to do that. Leipzig, on the other hand, they're not in that position yet, but they know that Sesko is such a talent. He has such a high ceiling that if he goes for 55 million, even if he was to go for 60 or 70 million, it's not enough. They believe this could be an 80, 90, 100 million pound player in the seasons to come. From Arsenal's perspective, look, they are looking at an absolute number of strikers. We know this. Robbie's been mentioned as an example. We know that Isak is being looked at, but there's talk of a 200 million pound price tag on Alexander Isak's head. And no disrespect, he's not worth 200 million pound. For me, you look at somebody like Gyökeres, you look at somebody like Benjamin Sesko. If you can pick them up for 55 million and reinvest another 150 million elsewhere in your squad, you are probably going to improve more. It gives you more depth. It gives you more rotation options. It gives you more flexibility. Isak is good, but he is not a 200 million pound player. So there's almost no point going down that avenue. But the price set of 55 million pound, Arsenal fans, I'm asking you this question directly. Should your club invest the money in Sesko? Now, moving up to Manchester. A story from the Telegraph states that Ten Hag's position at Manchester United appears increasingly untenable. United have sounded out Kieran McKenna, Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, and Thomas Frank this week. Now, I'll start off by saying I'm glad to see Southgate's name not on that list. I really don't want him to become the Man United manager on a personal level. I'm going to get behind whatever decision the new board at Man United make. I'm going to be supportive of it, get behind it, be encouraging, and being as positive as I can for my football club. However, I still have personal preferences and I will express those opinions. A lot of people think this is disrespectful on the eve of an FA Cup final for the new manager talk to begin. Ten Hag knows this is going on. Ten Hag knows his job isn't safe. If his job was safe, it would have already been declared. Winning the FA Cup or not, I don't believe is going to change the world. I don't believe that Ashworth and Barada and Wilcock, I don't believe Blanc, all these new people that have come in, these football minds, are looking at our performances, looking at the togetherness of the team and the chemistry and saying, if we win the FA Cup, I think we're going places. So I think a decision had already been made to move on. The one element about this list that concerns me is when you look at all four of those managers, they're very different from each other stylistically. So when you look at that shortlist, there's a part of me that thinks Are there a few red herrings in there? Are there a few names that maybe Man United have briefed or agents have briefed and the Telegraph have sort of put together as a package, and there's sort of 6 of one and half a dozen of another? Because you think about Kieran McKenna and Poch, and you can understand connections. Tuchel and Thomas Frank, I can understand connections. Different levels, different experiences, but they're fairly similar. But when you look at them all as a collective, I don't see a uniformed approach here. However, that's just a thought and feeling I had. I'm not panicking about any of the names on that list. In my order, I would go, it sounds crazy when I look at that order. You're going to think I'm mad for saying this. But I would, if it was those 4, and I had to choose from those 4. So we're going to take this article as read. You probably should say Tuchel, followed by Poch, followed by Frank, followed by McKenna. That is what the CV dictates. But my gut feeling, and this gut feeling could be romance, but my gut feeling is going McKenna, Frank, Tuchel, Poch. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. When I look at that list, I'm being honest with you all. That's what I'm feeling and thinking and feeling. But who do you think Man United will go for? Or could there be a curveball? Could Man United, just like we did with our new CEO, Omar Barada, could it be a name no one is expecting and out of the blue? Let us know. Remember, I don't want you to miss any of these videos and any of this content we're releasing over the course of the summer. So join our group chat. It's free. It's completely anonymous, so no one will know you're in there. No one can get your number. You won't get anything spammed. We've got a couple of journalists working for us, posting daily updates on transfer stories and situations. Plus, all the links to our content goes out, so you won't miss any notifications. So scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link below to join now. Now, moving to West London, we know that Kieran McKenna is a manager that Chelsea are looking at. But Chelsea may have to beat Manchester United and Brighton to land their new manager, with all 3 tussling for the same candidates. Ipswich's Kieran McKenna is wanted by the Premier League rivals, while Chelsea and United remain interested in Thomas Frank. Chelsea will also interview Leicester's Enzo Maresca for the hot seat as well. And this is such an interesting one because it also got to say Sporting Lisbon, Almiron and former Brighton manager Zerbi are in Chelsea's thoughts amid a very open hunt. So they're still there and available. But there's a lot of people that have been challenging these stories. Well, how can McKenna be the number 1 choice, but they're still interviewing Enzo? This doesn't make sense, Terry. Well, it does. Take yourself out of your own club. Forget Chelsea for a second. These managers are being approached by 2 or 3 different clubs. So if Chelsea only chased McKenna, and then McKenna chooses to stay at Ipswich, chooses to go to Brighton, chooses Man United, it could be 3 or 4 weeks wasted by Chelsea. They have to speak to multiple candidates. That just has to happen. Chelsea are pushing on ahead as it stands right now. The bookies have their favourites, but there is no clear candidate that is looking the most likely. And when I say that, I mean it from the perspective of McKenna has made no decision. Yes, he would like to manage Chelsea. This has been confirmed by Fabrizio. But if Man United become interested, and Fabrizio being very clever with his words, Man United are not going to publicly say they're interested until Ten Hag is gone. McKenna may wait. Enzo, on the other hand, he may also look at it and go, look, I would love to manage Chelsea, but you obviously want McKenna before me. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 weeks for a decision, and then you go somewhere else anyway. So they've got to act. But Chelsea fans, how are you thinking and feeling about this 2 or 3 days later? You're going to interview Enzo. McKenna appears to be your number 1 target. Thomas Frank on the list. It does say that the Zerbi and Almiron are in your thoughts, but as of right now, there has been no big link to them. Give me your thoughts. Give me your feelings below. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.